Alright, hey guys, so I've had a lot of people ask me how to make ghee. Let me show you my already made ghee. So I'm almost out. I make mine in these little pint jars. Actually, this might be a little more than a pint. And I leave this out on my countertop. It stays open. Oh yes, not a worry in the world. But I've had people ask, how do I make ghee? And why do I make it? Why not just use regular butter? Well, we have some dairy allergies in our house, not just a lactose allergy, but an actual dairy allergy. So it's important to me to not have the proteins from the milk being ingested by some of our family members. So I just take regular sticks of butter. I do 1 pound at a time, which would be 4 sticks. And I'm going to put them over medium heat. So I put that butter, 1 pound, in my pot, and I'm using an enamel pot here. I don't like to use anything besides enamel or enamel coated or cast iron for obvious reasons. And if you don't know what those reasons are, ask me and I'll let you know. So it's just going to get in here and it's going to start melting. I take a whisk and I spin it around here while it melts. The object is to get it melted slowly and over a little bit of time. Probably total, it takes me about 20 minutes to get this all melted down, and then the real process begins. So while this is melting down, I will talk to you about that. You're gonna melt your butter, and once it's fully melted, you're just gonna keep stirring. So stick a YouTube video on, whatever you want. Keep stirring, stirring, stirring over the medium heat until you begin to see a separation. As you can see, it's beginning to melt in the pot. It doesn't take long at all. The key to this is being in a continual stirring rate. You don't want to let your butter burn, and so that's why you also don't want very high on the heat. If you can see, mine is right there, not even on medium. There's my flame. I probably could go up a tiny fuzz, but I tend to do it a little bit slower because I don't like burning it and I don't want it to taste burnt. So as this begins to melt, we will watch over time as it will begin to separate the milk solids from the rest of the butter. Once you separate your milk solids out, then you have what is called ghee, or clarified butter, which is so good for you, so good for you. Okay, as you get to cooking, you can see how it's getting a little foamy on the top. A lot of people will actually skim this off. I don't bother with it. I used to in the beginning, thinking maybe it wasn't a good idea to have, but I really don't bother with it. I just keep going, and eventually it actually dissipates, and I don't know where it goes. I don't know if it evaporates or if it goes to the bottom. Anybody knows, you can let me know. But at this point, you're just going to sit here and stir and stir and stir. And when it gets closer, I will show you the separation. Okay, so hopefully you guys can tell it's getting thinner. You can see where it's beginning to separate a little bit. See how it's getting almost like a clearness to the top? Might be a little hard to see through the video. But you will begin to see a separation, and then you can actually physically see the milk solids that will be in the bottom of the pan. This part is really, really crucial for continuing to stir so that you don't burn anything. A minute ago, mine was bubbling pretty hard, so I did turn the fire down, and you'll begin to watch as the milk solids take shape. And then once that happens, we're going to separate it and pour it into a new container. Okay, so you can see I still have some bubbles on the top of mine, but if you kind of look through there, you can see on the bottom where it's dark, that's the milk solids. What I did was I turned this off because even before the bubbles were gone, I was noticing it was turning dark, and that means it's starting to kind of burn a little bit, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and filter this out. I'll show you that here in just a second. And it's not a problem if it turns dark like this. Your ghee will have a little bit more of a nutty flavor to it, but I think it's still really good. All right, let's do this. What did I do with my... You're gonna get a little strainer, put it over whatever you're gonna be pouring your butter into. And remember, your ghee, it's hot. It's like very, very hot. So I heated this guy up first, and so that he doesn't crack, because I don't want him cracking. So I'm going to grab my pot and I'm going to begin pouring in. Now you can see all the milk solids in the bottom there, and they definitely have, they've definitely burned a little bit on the bottom. Now I still have a tiny bit of ghee in there, but I'm not going to pour that because I don't want to get any more milk solids in there. So as you can see, let me pull you up here. It's in there. Now that's going to solidify and it will look like that.